You know, last year, I found something that would change the world forever. Something that would unify countries and people. It was this, the retro screenless camera.
Hot damn.
Such a wonderful, beautiful gizmo out on the market. It has that wonderful retro styling, that throwback memories of when you were a kid having to go to the photo shop and get the photos, and if you didn't, your mom was gonna beat you. It just took you back. And it kept you in the moment. It keeps you in the moment because there is, as I said, no screen. And I dove into them. I tried looking for others, and I did find some. I found the Retro Snap, which I will be getting soon. I found the Momento, and I found Camp Snap. All wonderful cameras. And I thought, with the oh so wonderful build quality of these, that they couldn't have been too hard to make. So I figured that these companies were getting them from somewhere. You know, mass producing them really easy because it is pretty much simple. It's just a plastic case, a little bit of a motherboard, and that's pretty much it. So they had to be simple to make, yet there wasn't too many people making them. So I figured that overseas was mass producing them. You know, like China or Japan or wherever else the good electronics are made, because Japan and China, they're way ahead of us when it comes to electronics. So I dove into places like Temu and Alibaba, this right here. And on this app right here, this one, I discovered this. Another retro screenless camera. And I was gonna take this apart, but I couldn't. It was pleasantly surprising. We're gonna get into it on this episode. So, let's check it out. Yeah. Whoa, blew past the camera there. Hello. So the camera we're talking about today is this little bad boy right here. This is the Winait. I don't know, it's Winait. And I know I butchered that name. And it came out in 2024 with an MSRP of $59.99. And you can get it right now. You can get it right now, this very minute, used for not a damn dime, because it hasn't been out that long. And again, most people like these cameras are just gonna throw it up in the closet. And when you pick it out later years in life, you're gonna be traumatized, because not only is it gonna have your mom and dad's dirty pictures on it, it's gonna have dirty pictures of the people they hooked up with when you weren't around, because your mom and dad were dirty swingers. That's right, they did naughty, dirty swinging things. And you weren't there to see it because you were off at band camp or something doing naughty things with the flute. But that's between you and the flute and mom and dad. I don't wanna know. And if you're on this, I'm gonna know, because I see things. I see things. Now this camera is special. That's right. It's a little different than these little. It's different than the Camp Snap and the Momento and the I don't know about Retro Snap because it's not here yet. But it's different. But before we go into the difference of it, let's take a walk around this little bad boy and let you see what it has to offer you. Because right now this whole thing is built on plastic. That's right. That's plastic. If you see it here, that's plastic. That's all that is. It's plastic. There's nothing better than plastic, I guess. I don't know. I mean, if you want to kill whales and harm the atmosphere, you know, use plastic. And that's what they did here. They've used plastic. And on the front, as you're looking at it, guys, it has a flash. It has the viewfinder, and it has a focus-free lens. It's about 2 feet. So, like, if I'm here to this camera and I took this picture, it's gonna look just fine. And on the and where are we gonna go first? We're gonna go on the top. On the top here, not only does it have a shutter button, well, it has the shutter button, but it has a separate on-off button. On-off button. That's right. It has a separate on-off button. And you know, and we'll talk more about that here in just a second. And then on the bottom, before we get to the back, and on the bottom, look at that. You've got the SD card, the sound, and then over here you've got what is that? That is That is the USB where you can charge it and you can transfer files. It's pretty cool. And we'll go on the little specialness next. We'll talk about the specialness in a minute. But here's where the magic happens. This is where it sets itself apart besides all the other stuff that set it apart. It's this back right here. Check that back out. That right there, baby. You notice something different in there than the other cameras? Probably not, because you don't pay attention to me. But if you do, you can see it. It's right here. So let's talk about it. You have your on-off switch for the flash, on-off, and auto. You know, automatic. Yeah, 80s, 90s babies, you know it. And then over here we have you got the peephole. You know, the thing that person watched your mom and dad do. They went through the peephole, and that's the pee-pee hole. I mean, the peephole. I didn't stick anything in that pee-pee hole that find out being a pee-pee hole. But anyways, that's what that is. That's a pee-pee hole. And down here, here's where the magic is. The separation right there. That's not only telling you how many photos you got, it tells you other things. So you know what? Let's get into those other things right now. Let's take the Camp Snap and the Momento, because eventually I'm going to do a shootout with all these cameras. These are all wonderful little retro. There's the Momento. Look at that. There's the Momento. Get in focus. Where's the focus point? There. Focus. Momento. And then we got the Camp Snap, which was my favorite. This got me into the retro digital screenless camera scene. Because, you know, we're a hip bunch. The whole zero amount of us that are out there. Because I'm alone. Like my life. Because nobody likes me. I wish they did. But shall we talk about it? Because I was a popular guy once. They used to love me. I used to be a contender. I used to be somebody. And then that somebody just... And then I hooked up with your mom and dad. anyways, as we can see the top fronts here, as we can see, they're all pretty much the same. You know, you've got your flash, your you got your flash, you got your eye hole, your eyepiece, flash, eyepiece, flash, and eyepiece. This one's a little bit different. And on the tops, let's look at the tops. You got your shutter on-off button, shutter on-off button, shutter on-off button, right? There it is. But that's all you got with these, right? Just the shutter on-off button. But here, like I said, they separate it. They separate, look at that. They separate the two. You've got your on-off button and shutter, which that right there alone is actually pretty nice. Because, I don't know, just something about it, it feels nice to have that extra on-off button instead of hooked up with the shutter button. Because what if you're pushing it, you know, not thinking about it, you turn the camera off, it goes off. Now, these do have a shutdown time of like 5 minutes. So like if it's inactive for 5 minutes, it turns itself off on all three of these. So that's a really good thing. So anyways, that's the top, that's the front. Now let's look at the bottoms, right? So what do we see here? Okay, so here on the Camp Snap, well, let's start with the low grade one. Here you have, you have the SD card and the USB port. That's it, right? That's it on that one. And this comes with a 4 megapixel or a 4 gigabyte card. And on here, same thing. You have your SD card and, you have your USB port right here. And you have your SD card slot. But this one changes up the game. This changes up the game because look at that. Look right there. See, let me pack it up. See those 3 dots? See those 3 dots right there? Where am I at? See those 3 dots? That's the time and month. That's the month, date, and all that stuff right there. So you can set the time and date on your pictures and you know when they happen. But with this one, and with this one, you have to change it in the files on your computer. But this one's a little bit different when it comes to the bottom. Check the bottom out here, right? See, check the bottom out. Okay, here, look. You have the SD slot right here, the SD slot, right? Put it back so you can see. You've got the sound, the speaker, like the other ones have. And in here, this is where you can get to the SD card, because it does not come with an SD card. These two come with 4 gigs of SD11, right? And you can kind of get to this one. This one's built in. This one, you can add your own SD card. And it tells you on their spec sheet that it can go up to 132 gigs. So 132 gigs at 8 megapixels means you're going to get a buttload of photos. But there is a couple things that change up on this camera on the bottom. And no, I'm not going to destroy it because I like this camera. I'm going to be using this camera. But there's a couple things that change up. So we're going to pop it up and I'm going to show you here. Okay, so do you see that little button right there? You see that little button right there? That little thing right there? That little button, that is a format card button. So that means when you put your card in, it's not working, you can format it, which is an awesome thing. And then over here on this hole, on that hole, that's not a glory hole. So don't think about going there. What that is a reset. So if your thing locks up, you don't get what you want, you can reset reset the card or the computer on it. Now let me pull. Oh, I turned it on. No, we'll go there in a minute. Anyways, okay. Now let me hold this. Hang on, just give me a second. So now there's also one other problem. It is good that these come with these cards, right? Because you don't have to think about it. You can plug and go. And honestly, 4 gigs is really not bad for 8 megapixels because that's going to take you for the long run, right? I'm going to turn this back off for a second so you can see me turn it on. Sound. All right, we'll go over that in a little bit. But the thing about this, I found out, I figured being that this was low, well, you know what? We'll talk about it at the end. We'll talk about that card thing at the end because it's actually kind of important. But now we're going to go to the back here, the back, right? Okay. So you've got the backs. We'll just turn them all on. Okay. So we're going to all turn them on now. All right, and then the last one here. So here on the Memento, you have a nice, bright, red, old school whatever light that's considered. I don't know. Just remember the old video games and watches. That's what that is, right? Then on this one, you can't really see. You got to get light on there. It just has a normal watch screen. I don't know what that's called. I don't know. I used to think it was sand myself. Oh, check it out. That lights up. That lights up. So that's a cool thing. That kind of lights up. So, but here's where this separates. This is where it separates. This is the difference in it. So here, not only do you have a better screen, right? And that's what this is. This is a menu button. And that's what we're going to get to. This one has no filters whatsoever. Memento, no filters. CamSnap, you can get filters, but you have to download the filters. So this means you can get black and white, whatever, but you have to download them. They don't come pre-installed. But this one, check this out. Not only do you have a button and, let's see if we can get the pictures in here. Can we see it? All right, well, that's going to be us. But here, you have filters. You have standard, retro, warm, sunset, black and white, cool, what is this one? Gothic, bright, and there's one feature on here that none of these cameras have. And this is the main, not just the filters, but this is the thing that sets it apart from all these cameras. Even the paper shoot, which I've got to still do one on that one. It comes with video mode. That's right, you can actually shoot 12 megapixel, 8 megapixel videos with this. So you have everything in this one little package. Retro styling, the throwback, and video, which is wonderful. And that's what set this apart. This is why I didn't destroy it, because I was going to destroy it to look in the guts, and this just was like, no way. So we looked at it, we took it around the park, and now we're going to go take some photos and let you be the judge of, is it worth your time and your money? And if you're a camera guy, this little baby should be worth your time and your money. So, I'll see you in a few minutes. As I said, this camera has video, has audio. But as you can tell, it's not really that great. But what can you do with a 8 to 12 megapixel camera, whatever it really is? So in this segment, the video is going to be all from this right here. So let's take a look around Athens, take some photos, take some videos, and see what y'all think. And we're back. So what did you guys think about this little baby right here? Me, I of course, like all my cameras, I thought it was awesome. I got to steady the camera here. You know, I mean, the filters were great. The images were beautiful for what it was. But the video itself was kind of, it was okay. But are you really going to complain for a camera this cheap and this low res? You know, so it was okay quality on the video. The sound, though, that's why I'm using the microphone. The sound, shall we say, just wasn't up to par. So overall, it was not a bad camera, especially for the price. And for a novelty, something you can just take with you and carry with you all weekend and get some wonderful retro-looking shots that you don't have to send off to Kodak to develop, I thought it was pretty awesome. Now, there is a few flaws in this camera. We can't deny it. Now, no camera is perfect, or at least in this price range. No camera is perfect. One, let me turn it on and you can hear it. That right there, the sound. See, let's take a quick picture. Right? It's loud. I mean, it's good to have that sound. It's loud. I kind of wish they would turn the sound down, right? And the flash, well, we're not going to say anything about the flash because the flash was actually, it was pretty decent versus like the Memento. When we did the Memento shots, they were very blue and tinty. But this one was okay when you figured it out. This one was not bad. The cam snap, it was not bad. So the flash on this is good. And the reaction time on this is great. But that sound right there is loud. And then there's the other problem I have with this camera. Because like I said, nothing is flawless. The one big problem I had with this is you can't use a low-grade SD card. You know, I was thinking with a low-grade card, I mean, with a cheaper camera like this, that you could get a low-grade SD card and throw it in there and work. No, it would not work. In fact, I thought this camera was defective. I had to get like a V3 SD card to make this work, which isn't a deal breaker by any means, but it just means it also has better processing power. But outside of those two little flaws, this is a pretty damn decent, good camera. Pretty damn decent, damn good camera. And I would suggest this one, especially over all the other ones. I mean, I don't know about the retro snap. I'll let you know when that comes in. But overall, this is the top dog right now. This one that I got from a Chinese website that I thought was going to just be crap. So again, here's where you can get it. I suggest if you want a good, fun retro camera to have for you for the weekend to give you the spot, go get one of these cameras right now because it's well worth it. And I can't wait to get the retro snap to check it out. And don't forget, coming up soon though, we got one last screenless digital camera. It's more a luxury one that has more bells and whistles, but it's something you should check out soon. But until then, guys, remember what I always say, go get a camera and show the world how you see it. We'll see you next time.